Okay, guys, so I'm about to watch the Amazing Spider-Man trilogy with Andrew Garfield, and surprisingly, I haven't seen these movies. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but I've seen the original trilogy and I've seen the MCU ones because I'm a big MCU fan. And a few months back, I rewatched the original Sam Raimi trilogy, so go check that out. But I haven't watched these two movies. Generally known, it's not really the best, but I have heard some good things about the first one and some not so good things about the second one. But I'm interested to see how they actually stack up and how I can form my own opinion on these movies. And I'm excited to kind of see Andrew Garfield's take on them so I can officially say my ranking for the three types of like live action main Spider-Man. So I'm excited to do that and everything. And he's potentially going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. So I'd like context for that and everything, even though I kind of know what happens. So, yeah, let's get in to the Amazing Spider-Man trilogy. But before we get into this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload. And let's get on to the video. Okay, so I'm about to watch The Amazing Spider-Man, and this one, I've heard some like decent things about it. I've heard a lot of good points about it. It's a little bit of a darker take. Some people just don't like Andrew Garfield's adaptation. Some people do, and so I'm excited to see how that kind of how his acting is and everything, as he is a good actor and some other things that I've seen him in. And I've heard that the good thing about this like not trilogy since it's only two movies is the relationships and kind of character building. So I'm a character guy. I like movies that are character based. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. So let's watch The Amazing Spider-Man. Okay guys, so I just finished The Amazing Spider-Man, and this movie was way better than I expected. And dare I say it, better than any movie in the original trilogy. I know, kind of a controversial opinion, but it was just so entertaining. The action was really cool. I enjoyed Andrew Garfield. I don't think it was better than Homecoming or Far From Home. It was definitely really good and had a lot of good aspects in there. Andrew Garfield is a really good Spider-Man. I just don't think he is like nerdy enough to be Peter Parker, like kind of too cool, and he just kind of comes off creepy, if you want to say that. Uncle Ben is kind of, I don't know, he's kind of just rude in this. Like, he's very, like, easy to dislike in this movie, so I didn't like that, and his death didn't really mean that much to me, but, I did love to see Peter's growth throughout the story, him getting, like, new webs and stuff, and then like doing his different powers. The origin, I thought it was really interesting, and how they kind of use Oscorp but not really, and then they more delve into Dr. Connors. And then I like the connection to the father because we didn't get any of that in the original trilogy, so it's a new take on that. And I just thought the action was really good. The comedy was pretty good. Didn't have much comedy, but when it was there, it was good. The Lizard as a villain, I think he's really good in like the first two acts, like Dr. Connors. And then the third act, when he actually like kind of becomes the Lizard fully, kind of falls flat a little. I feel like the first act, like, I feel like it's pretty steady and then, like, only goes a little bit down, like, not drastically. Overall, pretty even, but I do think the first act's the best part of it. Maybe the second act. I like the relationship with Gwen and Peter. It kind of felt a little off at the beginning, but then, like, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone did really well with these characters. I've heard that's like some of the best parts of these two movies. And then the relationship with the father and everything, him being a police officer with Spider-Man, was very interesting and a new take I haven't seen before. And it's a definitely really great movie, highly recommend. Um, but next up we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So let's watch it. Okay, so I'm about to watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I forgot to mention in the last part, the suit of The Amazing Spider-Man was amazing, ironically. It's probably the best one, like, out of anything, even like the MCU and original trilogy. But judging by this picture and some other like videos I've seen of the second one, I think this costume is a little bit better with the more whiter eyes and everything. But this movie is pretty much known as the worst Spider-Man movie. I've heard it suffers from the same thing as Spider-Man 3 with too many villains. Those Spider-Man 3, as I watched before, I do think are kind of underrated and not as bad. And then I've heard like it just like they try to do more comedy. It feels more kiddish, and the villains fall flat. And so I'm interested to see how that works. I don't think I'm gonna like it better if it goes like if it has a different tone. But I'm excited to see how it works out, and I'm excited for the relationship between Peter and Gwen. So let's watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay, guys, so I just finished The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And it was meh. It wasn't horrible. Like, it kept me entertained, but it was just like, ugh, could we just get through this? Kept lingering and lingering and lingering. It was just so boring. That's like one of the best ways to describe this film. It starts out pretty good. I love the scenes of him just swinging through the air. The CGI is surprisingly actually really good in this, and the suit looks absolutely amazing. I love that aspect of it, and the relationship with Peter and Gwen is amazing with this, with the best moment of the entire movie being Gwen's death, because like you really feel that one more than Uncle Ben in the past movie. And so it was really cool to see how that progresses. I feel like they focused too much on the whole Gwen's dad part. They kept bringing that up, and I get it, but like, it kind of pays off Gwen's death though. But they really have a problem with the villains. Like, they really need to focus on one, because they have like the Electro storyline, which I kind of liked, but kind of felt too similar to the Lizard one, but not like the exact same. And Jamie Foxx, he's a good actor, but I don't know, he just didn't really fit the role. I feel like he was too nerdy for the role and everything. Even though like Jamie Foxx isn't that nerdy, they just like made him that way. It was very weird how they did it. And then they got the whole New Goblin. They don't really blend together very well at all. So if they really stuck to one, I did not like the actor who played Harry Osborn. They like made it seem like they've been best friends, but then there's no mention of Harry Osborn in the last movie. Like they mention Oscorp and everything, but we don't even see him if he's his best friend. It's kind of convoluted like that. And then you got the Rhino. He's not a huge villain, but it was kind of obvious they're setting up a third movie and the Sinister Six. That was very, very obvious. But there were just a few other aspects in there. It feels very dated, like mid 2010s, because of the music and everything. Just was very weird, because the last one didn't feel like that at all. But overall, it's just meh. Definitely the worst of the Spider-Man movies. But it isn't like horrible to sit through. It was doable. It had like some really good parts, but overall, not that good. But yeah, that was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So that's The Amazing Spider-Man movies. Overall, I think it's very mixed. I say this for a lot of franchises, but that first one was like it exceeded my expectations. It was really good. Had good drama, good comedy, good action, good acting, good story, good characters. Everything was amazing, ironically. But the second one was really just a letdown, just really mediocre and bland. So, it's very mixed. If they did continue it, which they were obviously planning on doing, it kind of would have been interesting. But, like, it's weird to think that, like, 2 years after the second one, they already have Tom Holland's one in Civil War, and they filmed that in 2015. So once the Amazing Spider-Man 2 kind of flopped, they knew, okay, let's make a deal with Marvel. Overall, I definitely think this first one is overrated. Underrated. I almost said overrated. I think it's definitely overrated. I said it again. Definitely underrated and should be checked out if you haven't already. But that second one isn't very necessary. And I did like in the second one how they explored the parent aspect. That was cool, I guess, but they could have paid a little more attention to it. But overall, very mixed bag. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.